Still fucked up over there. That's still fucked up over here too. It didn't switch. Oh. Copy. Corey, what's up? Essentially Essential, Gabagool. How are ya? Just changing all these titles over here so they're correct. I don't know why it makes me do it like this, but here we are. Why can I not save this? The title is too long. Oh. I see. We got 100 characters on YouTube? Why? It's silly. Out. Save. Alright. I think we're good now. I think it's actually more correctly set up now. I hope. I hope. So, the agenda for today, we're watching Donald Trump speaking with the President of the Republic of Finland. And then after that, probably some baby steps or something. I dropped it. Got a new ounce of weed today. It's shock mints. Shock mints. Let's try it out. Stingray, what's up? Stoner Chick, how you doing? And Trademark, hello. Oh, this is sticking. I gotta clean this grinder. Gotta clean it. Oh, Roger, what's up? This grinder's so fucked up. Boyo, how you doing? Alright, let's see how big the nugs are in this. Let's see. Go ahead, take one. Everyone gets one. No, it's pretty good. Wow, that's the worst sound ever. Let me mute. You're currently doing calculus. What the hell is calculus? What is calculus? I know calculus is math. I know that one, but like, what the fuck is it for? Like, what kind of math? Why calculus? To heal finally. Nice. And we got the weed. Cycling, what's up? It's dusted up pretty well on this weed. I should get a decent amount of keef fall through for this too, so that'll be nice. All right, let's see how it tastes. Cheers. Dragons, what's up? Ooh. Hold on, that actually tastes really good. It tastes a lot better than it smells even. Nice. Cheers, trademark. Yeah, it's shock mints, and it's got like a faint. It has like a faint back end of like a minty flavor, but not like fake mint, but like mint, like the plant mint. It's not bad. All right, let's go to a smaller camera now. Let's hear this song first. There's only 2 minutes. Now we wait and see how the high is for this weed. I can feel it, so it is different than the last weed. Smoking CO2, see you dancing on the people, climb up on the booth, hanging from the people on the people, mind hits the roof, dancing on the ceiling on the people, I got people on the people, dancing on the people, I got purple hat, cheetah print, dancing on the people, roll the bappy after joint, dancing on the people, dancing on the people, I got people on the people, dancing on the people with the people on the smoking CO2, see you dancing on the people, climb up on the booth, hanging on the people. Not gonna put energy drink powder in this one because I probably already had 400 milligrams of caffeine today. How many have I had? I think 4 cups. I think. So, we're around there. Put those captions on, though I have to assume that they won't work like usual. Taking 2 geology classes. Cheers, Crafty. 2 geology classes and geography and my math. Didn't take pre-calc. 12 in high school. Because current strain is called Death Star. So it does not hit my head so much. It takes away. I'm following the science project. Yeah, I mostly said divas. Mostly sativas for me. I haven't even had like a indica dominant strain, I don't think, in quite some time. It's been a bit. Cleaned. Sativa makes your anxiety worse, really.
Purple hat, cheetah print, dancing on the people, roll the fat, the after joint, dancing on the people, people dancing on the people. I got people on the people, people dancing on the people with the people on the.
All right. I think we're ready. We got on the docket for today. Today is Donald Trump speaking with the president. Yeah, president of Finland. Finland? Yes, Finland. All right. Pause that and we start.
And we have the
Let's
Prime
see how it
Minister of
goes.
Finland, and that's never, I don't ever remember having a president and a prime minister, but that's a great honor. And thank you very much both for being here.
A president and a
Alex,
prime
we've been friends
minister
for a long time.
combined.
I've heard wonderful things about your prime minister.
I could
also.
think of a time in
We have
which
a
they
big order
did
coming
something
up.
like
We're,
that.
Buying icebreakers. We're building them together for the most part. We're doing 4 over there and 7 over here. And we negotiated a pretty tough price, I think. But I assume you're going to do very well. But what you're doing is you're going to be teaching us about the icebreaker business very, very strong. We only have one icebreaker in all of that millions and millions of acres. We only have one icebreaker. And other countries have more than we do. And we're buying the finest icebreakers in the world. And Finland's known for making them. They sort of have almost a monopoly on icebreakers, if you think about it. Nobody makes them like Finland. I've heard that for a long time. So we're going to have a total of 11, and it's been really an honor working on it. It was very important. We were making them, but we didn't make them right. By the time we
Gonna
finished,
talk
we're gonna
about
make them
icebreakers for a
maybe
while.
better than you, but at least as well. But probably not better, but at least as well. So I appreciate both of you being here. It's an honor to have both of you. Really tremendous reputations, and it's a great country. Thank you very much. Alex?
Yeah, no, thank you, Mr. President. I mean, I remember our first conversation just after you had been elected in November. The first thing you mentioned was icebreakers. We need them, and then we've been working on this issue ever since.
Hearing someone's fucking
and we're
phone
happy
ring
to
again?
announce that
These
we'll
people
basically
have no
building
shame.
11 icebreakers together, 4 of them in Finland, in joint endeavors, and then 7 of them here. And I think the reason that we've landed in Finland is that 60% of the world's icebreakers are built in Finland. 80% are designed. We've been building them for over 100 years. And speaking of price and time, I think we're the country that can provide them half the price and half the time that others have it. And I think this is a huge strategic decision by the President as well, because we all know that the Arctic is important strategically, militarily, and in terms of the economy as well. And now we can work on this together. Finland is a strange country in the sense that we are probably the only country in the world where all the ports are frozen in the winter. And that's why we built the know-how in icebreakers. Now we can work on this together. And I remember the first conversation we had, you mentioned the fact that Russia has 40 and you need to start ramping this up. And this is an indication that we're going to do it and we're going to do it together. I also think that this strengthens our bilateral relations. I know I come from a small country, but for us to be able to work together with you is extremely important from a strategic perspective as well. So we appreciate the cooperation, and we're going to deliver the first one 2028.
Good. Just a little bit before a big event.
Yeah.
So that'll be good.
That's true.
But, that's great. And actually, it's true. I came here and they were building an icebreaker. They had no idea what they were doing. They had no idea how much it was going to cost. They knew nothing. And we have our Secretary of the Navy right over here. We're working on a lot more than icebreakers. We're working on some very, very big and important ships. But they had no idea what they were doing. And I was with you, and I ended up meeting you and knowing you, and I heard about Finland and their icebreakers, and I said, do me a favor, would you have your people take a look at what these people are doing? And it came out that, just as I thought, they had no idea what they were doing. And we got involved, and we ended up, we need these ships very badly, because we have a lot of territory, more than anybody. And so I'm very honored to have this deal, and thank you very much. It's going to be great. It's going to be a great partnership. And it's a great honor to have you, Mr. Prime Minister. Would you like to say something, please?
First, Mr. President, thank you very much. It's a great honor to be here today. And as a Prime Minister of Finland, I want to say that this deal it's very important to Finland and our economy, because our economy is suffering a lot because of Russian aggression in Ukraine. And this deal, it means investments, it means jobs, and jobs means hope. And that's why this is so important. And I want to thank your leadership on this deal and this issue. Thank you.
So you've been affected very badly by the war going on, the ridiculous war going on, right?
Yes, because we have to close the border with Russia. We have 1,300 kilometers common border with them, and affects the atmosphere in Finland, in investments, and that's why we need good news. Our people need hope.
Right. So your border is closed.
It's closed.
And that's because you have so many Russians trying to get in?
Yes, they started to push illegal migrants to our border. That's why we were forced to close it.
And people also that don't want to go into the military, I guess, trying to come through.
The way
Yeah,
he like
some of them
tries to have a
Unfortunately,
conversation with people
on
is
our side, we don't have that
mind-numbing.
problem. In Finland,
No, you have a great military.
we have compulsory military service, and as I always say, we have 900,000 men and women who've done it, including
Before
myself.
seemed to have just slipped
Pause
his
for a
mind.
sec. I got the
In
Senate.
fact, Democrats have barely
live
reacted to the fact
open
that federal workers are going to start missing pay.
refresh
Mr. President, when we realized that we were going to need a continuing resolution to allow us more time to complete the fiscal year 2026 appropriations bills,
Why is it not loading?
Republicans wanted to do everything we could to ensure that there was no shutdown,
Oh, great job.
which
you
is why
two.
we put forward a hope that the Democrat leader and Democrat senators can summon up some of that concern they used to have about shutdowns and vote to reopen the government. At the very least, if the Democrat leader is too
This is
worried
live
about
right
his
now.
polling to vote to reopen himself, he could allow Democrat senators who do care about the functioning of our government to join Republicans to reopen. Mr. President, I yield the floor.
Oh, and they're done speaking already. Okay.
The clerk will read the title of the bill for the second time.
S-2983, a bill to reauthorize the Cybersecurity Information Sharing Act of 2015.
Mr. President, in order to place the bill on the calendar under the provisions of Rule 14, I would object to further proceeding.
Objections heard. The bill will be placed on the calendar.
Mr. President.
Majority Whip.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Someone else. If someone else comes up and speak, oh, someone else is speaking.
Post from this morning, and they have an editorial. And what they have in bold print, it says, Democratic leaders play a dangerous game. That's what the Democrats
YouTube
are
is not loading right here.
doing. We just heard the majority leader talk about
Still
what we're
will
trying
not
to do, what
load
we're
this
facing,
so I
how
can
Chuck
get it
Schumer is
off.
being held hostage by the liberal groups who set up the war room with him. And what we see is a dangerous game being
Still
played.
blaming Chuck
and
Schumer.
threats to the American people.
Live.
This goes on to say there is a clean funding bill on the table. This is the Washington Post, Mr. President, this morning. There is a clean funding bill on the table. Only a handful
shit,
of
this guy looks like a
Democrats
raisin.
need to vote for it. Instead, the majority leader is leading the minority leader is leading the Democrat Party into a box canyon. Can't get out. And it's a dangerous game, and it's not just dangerous for them, it's dangerous for the American people. That's where the danger lies. So I come to the floor, Mr. President, because the American people are facing an immediate crisis. And they know why. Anybody watching knows why. It's because Senate Democrats have now voted 5 times against a clean bipartisan
Is Chuck Schumer the new
continuing
Biden for this
that would open the
specifically?
government
Yeah, they're using him
today.
like that. They're like, this is
is
Chuck
day
Schumer.
8 of the Schumer
This is Chuck
shutdown.
Schumer.
Day 8. Country is held hostage by the Democrats, and they're playing a dangerous game. This isn't a game, Mr. President, but that's what the Democrats have turned it into. So the question before us is simple. What have the Democrats accomplished during this dangerous game that they're playing? October 10th, on Friday, in 2 days, Border Patrol agents and other federal workers will receive only half a paycheck. That's the result of the Democrats' dangerous game. It will be their last paycheck until and at least all the patrol agents and other federal. October 10th, on Friday, in 2 days, Border Patrol agents and other federal workers will receive only half a paycheck.
Brings up Border
That's the
Patrol
result of the
agents has the
Democrats' dangerous
fucking
game.
main thing.
It will be their last paycheck until.
Let's go back to
To
refresh.
keep
So
the
it's
government
live.
funded. Continuing resolution funds our military, pays for law enforcement, continues food assistance for moms and young children, keeps small business loans flowing. 13 times they voted for this. Now they reject it because they want to please their radical extreme base, the base that has put up a war room that Chuck Schumer has bowed down to.
Yeah, I think we just like missed
That's what we
Cory
just heard from
Booker
the majority
speaking
leader.
as well.
That they're
He
the
was up
ones
a little
calling
bit
the
ago.
shots.
Oh, there's Chuck Schumer.
And that's why we find ourselves in this situation.
So, who's up
Democrats
there
are
for a second?
demanding
I was scrolling
radical
through.
new policies before they allow the government
couple
to
Democrats
reopen.
up before.
I've seen their demand letter.
Now we just got that
$1.5
Republican
trillion
saying
in new
stupid shit.
expenses, as the majority leader just outlined here on the floor. Their ransom note is filled with liberal policies. I look at it, it is stitched together like Frankenstein's monster. $1.5 trillion in reckless new spending. Free health care for non-citizens. Free Medicaid for working-aged, able-bodied adults who refuse to work. There are over 5 million of these individuals in the United States, and yet they refuse to work. And the Democrats want them to all get free Medicaid. $50 billion the Democrats want to cut from vulnerable rural hospitals. Hospitals in rural communities.
They don't want to cut 50
The
billion.
Democrats not
They
care at
want
all
to put
about
the
those
trillion
communities,
back.
even though there are rural communities
They
in
want
their
to put the
states, they are
trillion
beholden
back
to
and
the
get
big
rid of that
cities and the
bullshit thing
mayors,
you put in for the 50 billion.
sanctuary cities that control the Democrat Party. That's what we're dealing with here. That's why the Washington Post calls what the Democrats are doing, as I pick it up again, Mr. President, a dangerous game. They're holding the American people hostage to extract far left-wing concessions. They're telling our service members their paychecks are negotiable. They're telling small businesses their dreams are collateral damage in a partisan fight. They're telling mothers and young children that WIC benefits are leverage for the far left demands of health care for non-citizens.
The right could just
Republicans
pass whatever they
remain
wanted
committed
right
to
now.
ensuring families
Like,
receive
shut the fuck
support
up,
they
guy.
deserve. The Democrats have chosen repeatedly to keep the government closed for political purposes only. American families are feeling the pain nationwide. In Georgia, more than 100,000 federal employees are wondering where they will find the money to pay their bills and buy their groceries. In Arizona, 344,000 children enrolled in SNAP face uncertainty. The benefits are running out. Time is of the essence. Shutdown Democrats are telling these families problems aren't urgent. Well, they're urgent to those families, and the Democrats don't seem to care. In New York, almost 500,000 individuals who rely on WIC will lose access at the end of this week. It's already Wednesday. We're talking about pregnant women. We're talking about new mothers. We're talking about young children. They depend on this program. In Illinois, every week the shutdown continues. It costs the state's economy over $500 million. That's jobs lost, paychecks missed, opportunities evaporated. In Michigan, small businesses face delays of $92 million in loans because the Small Business Administration is frozen due to the shutdown. These businesses are the backbones of our communities and our economy. They should be able to make payroll, keep their doors open, not as the Democrats continue to play what has been termed a dangerous game. In Nevada, for each month the shutdown continues, consumer spending from lost wages will fall by over $200 million. It's money that won't flow into local businesses, won't pay rent, won't put food on the table. In New Jersey, telehealth programs are on hold. I'm a doctor. Without these programs,
You're a
patients
doctor.
will be put at greater risk.
Are you shitting me?
In New Hampshire,
You're a
workers
fucking
maintaining our
doctor
nuclear
and you're
attack
advocating for the
submarines,
shit you're
they face
advocating for?
furloughs and unpaid work.
You should not be a
This goes
doctor.
beyond missing a paycheck. This is about national security. The Schumer shutdown, the dangerous game that he is playing, puts America's safety at risk. At airports nationwide, we are already seeing the direct effects of the shutdown. Flights are being delayed, security lines are growing longer. Even the head of the Teamsters Union, Sean O'Brien, says that Democrats' political theater is something he can see right through. He says a shutdown will hurt working people, period. American workers are not a bargaining chip. That's the leader of the Teamsters Union, Mr. President. He goes on to say, senators should stop screwing around and pass the House-passed clean short-term funding bill. That's where we are today. He's right. But regrettably, Senate Democrats are treating the American people as bargaining chips, as hostages.
Hey, what's up?
And that's why they sent the list of demands as ransom. Democrats have now voted 5 times against opening the government.
What the fuck is that?
5 times against supporting our military. 5 times against paying law enforcement officers. 5 times against food assistance for women and infants and children. 5 times against the small business loans that help Main Street. 5 times Democrats have looked at the mounting damage of the Schumer shutdown and shrugged their shoulders.
The Schumer shutdown.
That's the
They're really
situation
specifically
we have
going for Chuck
today.
on this one, huh?
The American people overwhelmingly say Democrats should pass a clean continuing resolution and end the shutdown immediately. There is a clean bipartisan resolution.
If anyone would
before the
not
Senate,
do anything about it,
ready
though,
for
it's
a vote
Chuck
right
Schumer.
now, reopens the government today.
If anyone would not come
It would
out to
protect
be
the paychecks and the
super
programs the
defensive, it's
American
Chuck
people
Schumer.
depend upon. It would end the uncertainty that is gripping millions of American families. The question is not whether the Democrats can end the shutdown. It's will they have the integrity to do it, or will they continue to play this dangerous game with our nation and with our families.
Saying dangerous game
And
repeatedly.
Mr. President, on a separate matter, before Senate Democrats shut down the federal government,
I think
they
he
shut
said that
down
now
the
5
very
times.
Senate floor on which I stand. And they did it by freezing the confirmation process. For months, their blockade created a growing backlog of qualified nominees, so many of which have come out of committees with bipartisan votes. Nominees for positions that during prior administration sailed through the Senate by unanimous consent or by voice vote. But not with this Democrat minority. Oh, no.
He almost said majority.
So in September, Senate Republicans broke the blockade. And now the blockade
Y'all have the
is being
majority.
cleared.
It's completely
At
up
the
to
peak
you.
of the Democrat obstruction, more than 150 well-qualified
It's completely up to you.
nominees approved by Senate committees were waiting for a vote on the Senate floor. Yesterday, Mr. President, we confirmed 107 of those nominees, and we did it in a group. This is one of the largest confirmations in the history of the United States. Now there are only 26 nominees on the executive calendar. Our committees are hard at work to approve more nominees, and we're going to confirm them in short order. As of this morning, President Trump has had 298 nominees confirmed in his second term. By comparison, at this point, Joe Biden had confirmed only 201 in his first and only term. President Trump had confirmed only 183 nominees at the same time in his first term.
Then why are you bitching about the amount of nominees you're getting through? What are you talking about?
So the Senate's
That's
constitutional
hired
duty
now.
of advise and consent
What?
is now back. President Trump now has his team
I keep hearing him say
confirmed and
President
ready to be
Trump.
sworn in. From assistant secretaries to ambassadors, United States attorneys, the federal government is better positioned today to keep our nation safe and secure and prosperous. Senate Republicans are going to continue to work to get America back on track, no matter what obstacles the Democrats continue
I got
to
fruit
throw in our
gushers.
path. Thank you, Mr. President. I yield the floor.
Republican leader spoke, and I missed part of his statement, but I think I heard most of it. I listened carefully to the statement by the senator from Wyoming, and let me say at the outset that I consider them both to be friends. We disagree on many things politically, but over the years I've come to work with both of them and look forward to doing that again someday. I was disappointed in both of their statements because of what was not said. How can you talk about the government shutdown without ever mentioning health care costs to American families? How can you do that? I mean, it's a situation where we understand, I hope, that the Democrats are not in this position for any reason other than to stop the dramatic increase in health care premiums that American families will face unless we do something and do it now. State after state, the notices are going out that the cost of health insurance for working families in America is going to go up dramatically. In some
70%.
cases, more than 100%.
70% is
And
like
that
the average.
is going to be hurtful to many. They'll have to look for different health insurance plans that they can afford, which means more money out of pocket, or they're going to drop their health insurance coverage altogether. How can the Republican leaders stand before us and even refuse to acknowledge that that is the issue that drives this government shutdown? The Republicans are insisting on their approach to the budget because they don't want to see American families protected when it comes to these health insurance increases. And the increases are already being announced. 10 states
I
so
feel like a
far
Republican's
have
going to go up
announced
next and be like, but Donald Trump is
October
going to reduce
27th
the
is
prices
the
of
magic
medicine
date,
by
if you will,
1,500%.
for the announcement in my state of Illinois.
You're not understanding.
I know what's going to happen. I'm going to hear from hundreds, if not thousands, of families across my state that increasing the cost for families is creating a hardship they never anticipated. We believe on the Democratic side, this is the time to act now, to move together to stop these increases from taking place, because these increases were part of the big, beautiful Republican budget. The Trump budget, voted for by every Republican senator and no Democratic senators. The Trump budget, which of course he signed into law, that's what's leading to these increases, because the plans, the Affordable Care Act insurance plans, are no longer going to enjoy a subsidy, a tax credit to help families pay the premiums, and that's why the cost is going to go up so dramatically. We can change it. We can do it, but we have to do it quickly. We ought to move on it this week. I wish the House of Representatives were in session. They haven't shown up for 2 weeks. Speaker Johnson happens to believe that being AWOL is the right thing for his Republican members. I don't think it's the right thing for America.
Because they don't want to get those Epstein files released.
Capitol negotiating, sitting at a table together. And the first item on the agenda has to be health care costs for American families. All this talk about dangerous game and radical left policies and managements, it is not a radical left idea that a working family ought to have affordable health insurance. It is basic in America. As flawed as our health system is in this country, and as great as it is in many respects, if people cannot afford to have their coverage for their family, then hardship, it follows. That's the real reason. You say, well, what about the cost? Remember, this is an administration that wants to give $20 billion to Argentina.
We were just talking about that.
$20 billion this president's planning on giving.
Yeah. And now he's dancing
I'm
around
worried
like
more
a
about 20
idiot
million
over on a
Americans who will
fucking
lose their
stage.
health insurance if we don't do something and do it quickly. The American people get it. This issue has gone from the Beltway to the backyards of America. People know that this is coming, and they're worried about it, and they should be. They want us to do something, and they want it done now. And we are making the fight on this continuing resolution because it is timely, and we need bipartisan support to pass it. So let's do something positive in a bipartisan way. And dealing with the cost of health insurance is my approach that I would suggest. Let me take this to another issue that is near and dear to my heart, and that's what's happening in my home state of Illinois. We all know the popular quote, when someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. Or in President Trump's case, if a person shows you who they are 1,000,000 times over, believe them. President Trump has shown us his unlawful and inhumane priorities over and over again, city after city. He continues to deploy militarized immigration agents and National Guard troops to more American cities purely for political theater.
Bring it up.
He wants America to talk about the Texas National Guard in Illinois, not about health care costs facing American families. But it's not going to work. Unfortunately, the men and women of the Texas National Guard who are in the state of Illinois as of yesterday have been sent off on a political assignment, political theater. Instead of working to find a bipartisan way to reopen the government, lower the cost of health care, President Trump is focused on scoring points against his perceived enemies. Just yesterday, 200 or 300 members of the Texas National Guard joined federal law enforcement officers in Chicago, along with President Trump's loyal FBI Director, Kash Patel.
Don't worry, they got Kash Patel on their case.
The truth is that the arrival of the Texas National Guard and the FBI Director will not make Chicago safer. It will only escalate the unnecessary and dangerous situation this president himself has created. I still can't get the image out of my mind from 2 weeks ago when the ICE officials in full combat gear carrying long rifles were marching down Michigan Avenue. It was a hateful effort that is used to provoke people into strong emotional feelings. This administration's unlawful use of military resources to police American cities makes our country less safe, and it's a mistake that will be remembered in the history books. I pray that the court system will respond accordingly as they did in the case of Oregon and Illinois when the hearing tomorrow.
Yeah, but what happens when he does not adhere to that court system?
Deploying the Texas National Guard without the consent of Illinois elected
officials
ready
for that?
Is, in my estimation,
I don't think they're ready for that.
And unlawful. The Posse Comitatus Act expressly forbids the use of our nation's military for civilian law enforcement unless expressly authorized by statute or the Constitution. National Guard personnel do not deserve to be used by the president's political pawns. And let me say and make it clear, as much as I regret the decision by the Texas governor to send his National Guard troops into Illinois, and as much as I want them to leave immediately, I do not make those statements at the expense of the individuals who are in the Guard and volunteered to serve their state and nation. The same thing is true with the federalized Illinois National Guard. They are doing what they are ordered to do, as according to the military standards.
that doesn't stand in court of law. Doing what they're ordered to do does not stand in a court of law, buddy.
The administration truly wants to help Chicago, and I don't believe they do.
Don't try and make that be like the norm.
It won't defy our elected leaders. It will work with us.
Yes,
fuck
Trump.
Millions of dollars it's suspended. The Trump administration suspended in crime prevention and public safety grants. Instead, this administration has chosen to use America's military to create chaos and sow fear.
Good excuse to get out of the house. Nice.
We all agree on the importance.
Just finally finished actually last night.
Making our community safer. The president claims his aggressive immigration
Lies My Teacher Told Me, Volume 2.
Are to help get violent criminals off the streets. I come to the floor 2 straight days, and this is the 3rd.
Jacob, I can only imagine why it says you're a possible ban
what
evader.
happened last week.
I can only imagine why people might ban you.
A South Shore apartment building was raided in the middle of the night. Doors were crashed down. Families were rousted out of their bedrooms. Many of them brought out to the street.
It's one of the ones I got.
As to whether they were in America legally.
Nice.
Some were American citizens. We don't know how many. And we certainly don't know if there were any criminals found as a result of that. No report. But we do know this. What happened on that street on that night was not the way America does business and should.
Do you support Palestine? Free
to
Palestine. Yes, I do.
These families with no warrant for their arrest and no suspicion that they had committed crimes, simply because they looked Hispanic and maybe looked like foreigners. I'm not sure. This action was taken against them. These attacks are part of Stephen Miller's personal agenda for mass deportation.
Yeah, Stephen Miller is a huge piece of shit.
They've pulled FBI, DEA, and ATF agents from their assignments.
Ooh, that was loud.
Important assignments to stop narcotics.
Ooh, that was loud too.
To carry out the president's immigration agenda. They've stopped working on fighting crimes like terrorism, gun violence, human trafficking, and drug smuggling to land a helicopter near a building in Chicago.
That's a wild question to ask,
families out
Jacob.
into the street in the middle of the night. I have fought for humane reforms to our immigration system and evidence-based ways to reduce crime in our cities. If the president is serious about fixing our immigration system or lowering crime in our communities, I'll join in on that effort. but sending in militarized federal immigration agents and National Guard troops to our communities is not the way to do it. These actions have accomplished what I believe is the president's true intention, sowing fear in the hearts of our communities, especially our immigrant communities, and consolidating the president's power in Washington. The actions taken by this administration undermine the very fabric of America, a nation that was founded on the belief that all people should be free from tyranny. I remember a time when every member of Congress would have risen in outrage if the administration attempted to use the military unlawfully against the cities and communities and states that they represent. Unfortunately, this time has passed. There's nothing but silence from the other side of the aisle. Congressional Republicans are content to stand aside in abject servility to this president as he tramples the Constitution. But Americans should not stay silent. People across Illinois are peacefully making their voices heard and letting this administration know the attacks on our city will not go unchallenged. As a senator from Illinois, I'll do everything in my power to hold this administration accountable for their unlawful actions. They may think this is a diversion of attention from the basic issue of controlling healthcare costs and helping working men.
Like I appreciate some of the words he's saying, but like I feel like he needs to be like way more.
Others will join me in condemning this activity. I yield the floor.
We need a lot more emotion and upset from this guy. Like Donald Trump has sent in ICE to like create a war in Chicago, and you're like, yeah, I hope that there's a lot of people who come out and condemn this action. It's not great. It's not nice. Donald Trump's being a real meanie, and we're gonna sue him. Okay.
Mr. President.
All right. Don't
Mr.
worry.
President,
We got it. We're gonna sue
that I
him.
be permitted to speak for 5 minutes. Senator Heinrich be permitted to speak for up to 10 minutes, and Senator Daines be permitted to speak for 5 minutes prior to the scheduled votes.
Without objection.
Mr. President, I ask unanimous consent that I be given permission to use a prop.
All right.
Without objection.
Mr. President, it is day 8 of the government shutdown, but it is day 19 of the House being on vacation. How is it possible that the party in charge of the government is sitting at home while the government is shut down? Well, let's take a look. So this is the House schedule. These yellow blocks are work days. It's already a pretty nice schedule. Most people, if they are fortunate, get either 7 days or 10 days of vacation. Some people get less, some people get more, but nobody gets this amount of time off. Now, we call that a district work period or a home work period, and that's true. We need to be home to interact with our constituents, but that's what August is for. So here's what happened. They left early on the 25th, specifically to avoid a vote on the Epstein files. Then they had this week off, 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 this day off, come back. 1, 2, 3. Long weekend.
Loving the charts.
Long weekend. 1, 2, 3, 4. Long weekend. Another break. Another break. Another break. And now they're saying another break. Get back to work. Get back to work. We are facing a healthcare crisis, and we didn't pull this out of some Democratic strategist lab. And the presiding officer knows this in his home state. Prices are about to spike disproportionately among people who voted for Donald Trump, disproportionately in rural communities, disproportionately among farmers. And they're not going to spike a little. This is not like normally 4% increase is now 7%. For 22 million Americans, the price of health care is about to go up 114%.
Oh, my God.
114%. So you can find some people who are only paying like a 40 or 50% increase. And you still can't afford that. Most people can't afford a 40 or 50% increase in the cost of almost anything. But health care is a big chunk of the cost of living. And so here we are, as Democrats, saying, help us help you, Republicans. You created this mess that is causing your signature legislative achievement to be a drag on your electoral chances. And if we were a little bit more cynical, we would just let you stew in it. But we want those 24 million people, 22 million people to have relief. And so we're simply saying we can open the government tomorrow morning if Donald John Trump realizes.
I really like the if we were a little bit more cynical thing that he just said there. He's like, you know, if we were a little bit more cynical, we would just let our 20 million constituents fucking die. But we're deciding that we're going to, like, try and get them some kind of relief.
In the city of Chicago and the state of Illinois.
Okay.
We all swore an oath to the Constitution, and I am honestly scared. I used to do this sort of shtick on Twitter where I would say the thing about what Donald Trump said on Twitter is that and then I would just say he's trying to take your health care away. And my point was that's a distraction from the main issue, which was that he was going to try to take your health care away. That's not true anymore. He's going through with these authoritarian actions. Mm-hmm. The last time he posted that one of his political enemies should be jailed, it was James Comey, and then James Comey was indicted. Mm-hmm. This morning he pled not guilty. His trial is in January. And so this morning, Donald John Trump,
so what happens in the James Comey case when shit like actually goes to discovery? What happens when like they start pulling up actual info?
Over the objection of the Illinois governor, 200 or 300 troops to go into Chicago to do nobody knows really what other than to terrorize people. They're belaying off a helicopter into an apartment
building. Yeah, that was fucking ridiculous.
Chicago, give me a break. Unless you think this is theater, this morning Donald Trump is in one of his moods and he says, Governor Pritzker should go to jail. Are we to assume he's kidding this time? Are you sure he's kidding this time? Oh, he's just trolling. Last time, 3 weeks ago, he clearly wasn't trolling. The Attorney General went through with what he asked. And so I'm asking my Republican colleagues who swore an oath to the Constitution and love this country just like I do to say publicly or privately, I don't care, enough is enough.
Yes, this is the energy that I want. This is the energy that makes me, like, what I want from every single person is to get my attention.
Thank you, Mr. President.
To make me shut up for a minute. Just make me shut up for a minute. Don't, like, otherwise, like, if I'm talking over you, there's a fucking reason.
Mountains, Desert Peaks National Monument.
But if you have my attention, I am just listening to what you're saying.
Sky and preside over bustling communities in southern New Mexico. It's also home to nearly 250 archaeological sites, including some of the earliest Native American heritage sites in North America, and places like Shelter Cave, Conklin Cavern, and the Aden Lava Flow Wilderness. This January, the Bureau of Land Management issued its most recent monument management plan for Organ Mountain's Desert Peaks.
Trees.
It sets out in this plan how the land will be used over the coming decades. And it came after years of engagement with public land use.
This guy should be yelling too. He should be yelling.
From comment periods,
because like the things that they're talking about are something that you should be yelling about, especially at this point we're at.
Of how we administer
Show the emotion that is like required for the topic you're talking about. Otherwise, everyone else doesn't understand quite how bad this situation is.
Work that deserves respect. And that's why I'm here.
Yeah, I hate watching them sit there and read off a paper.
The Senate is voting on 3 resolutions.
Because like anyone can go up there and read off a paper. At this point, why do we have the senators up there? Hire an actor to read off the paper if they're just going to read off the fucking paper. You know? I want someone that's going to come out here and have this knowledge.
Look at a region as a whole and figure out how to balance all the competing different uses of public land across that landscape. They figure out where recreation should be prioritized and where prime game habitat should be protected. They figure out what land should be available for uses like grazing or oil and gas production. They identify important cultural sites and historic resources that deserve our protection. And they also determine which land use
How
requirements
nice you can verify. Yeah, I
used
love
for
like
things
the use
pipelines
of
and
the
transmission
board
lines.
behind. Like
They
you can
do
have like
all of
boards
this
behind and like just
with the input
just
of
go
local
for it. I'm
communities,
so tired of like
recreation businesses,
this
public
boring
land uses,
fucking
tribal
Democrat
governments,
read
energy
off of a
developers,
speech
and
that
more.
they didn't even write themselves.
But I'm here now because Republicans
I'm
want to
so sick of
rescind
it.
these land use plans through the Congressional Review Act. And by doing that, they brush away all of the local voices and community input that went into making these plans. Imagine telling tribal communities that their opinion no longer matters on their ancestral lands. Telling hunters that their opinion no longer matters on the lands they used to fill their families' freezers. Telling hikers that their opinion
Like he
no
sounds
longer
so
matters
fucking
on the routes
monotone
that
about
they know
this.
like the back of their hand. Telling local communities that the way their land is used
Be
is no longer
as
important.
reactionary to
Telling
this as
all
you
of us
should
that our
be
voices
emotionally.
do not matter.
Did he
when it
even read it
comes to the
beforehand?
very
That's
lands
that's exactly
that
it
are
too. It doesn't
our
seem like
American
they have
birthright.
because they don't know what they
And
should,
here's the
how they
thing,
should
they're
be reading
doing
these.
it across the board.
It's
on
all
every
this like
resource
boring
management
ass
plan since
fucking.
1996
Let me just read off this thing
without
that someone
even
wrote for me,
admitting
and then that's it.
So let me walk you through what they're hoping that you won't notice. First, it's important to understand that resource management plans affect nearly every use on public land, from bird watching to coal mining. These plans get a whole rewrite every few decades. But in
like all of
between,
them are getting
smaller
money from
amendments are
Israel.
made to address
There's so many of
specific
them.
places and specific uses that need to be updated. These amendments are the normal way for new administrations to change plans that they disagree with. Until today. Now, instead of using the usual amendment process, which involves all of those same stakeholders, Congress is voting to outright overturn and repeal these plans. Until today, Congress had never, ever used a
There's so
congressional
many that
resolution
do.
of disapproval
Doesn't anyone else
to
not? There's
change
like
or
there's like
overturn a
5 or
land use
6
plan.
or something right now that
That's because
didn't
no
win their
administration has ever
primary
considered
from
these land use plans to be quote-unquote rules
APAC
under
or
federal
have some sort of
statute.
APAC
So let
funding.
me say that again.
There's not that
no
many.
administration, none, since the Congressional Review Act was passed in 1996, has ever treated land use plans as rules. So here's what that means legally. No land use plan has been submitted to Congress, a legal requirement for rules. It's
Cheers,
never
Stone
happened.
Shake.
And because the Congressional Review Act prohibits rules from going into effect until 60 days after they are submitted to Congress, and no administration has ever submitted one, then every land use plan after 1996 never legally went into effect. And if they never went into effect, then all of the leases and permits and rights of way that flow from those plans may not be legally valid.
Oh, what?
That means
They
that every
may not be
grazing permit,
legally
every
valid.
energy right of way, recreation
They
permit,
may not be
outfitter guide
legally
permit, timber
valid.
sale,
Wow,
even oil
fucking
and
mic
gas
drop,
lease
buddy.
Issued
We
under
got
a plan
Mike,
finalized
it might not be
after
legally valid.
1996 could be litigated. Every single one.
God.
That's bad.
Oh, that's bad.
And it's not just because it's unprecedented, but because the actual impacts on real
Dude.
Americans could be
This
devastating.
is such like a
For the
terrible
country, it means potential
performance
chaos
from
and
him.
uncertainty about what areas are protected on public lands. One of the resolutions under consideration this week is for a land use plan in Alaska.
What the economy that made my
And a
day,
vote
yeah.
for that resolution would mean that the Ambler Industrial Corridor will be built.
Yes, they want to do this,
This is
Ambler
a
Road,
211-mile
11, yes.
private access road that would destroy
Private access
some of
toll.
Alaska's wildest habitat and waterways to
For a
produce
cobalt
minerals,
mine.
all for a foreign company. As someone from American Hunters and Anglers said, using slightly more colorful language that I'll leave out, this move
Why are
obliterates
you
years
leaving it
of public
out?
input from hunters and anglers and uses taxpayer
You
dollars
milk
to
toast
prop
little
up,
bitch.
I'll say it again, a
Why are you
foreign-owned
leaving out
mining
this
company.
strong language?
The headline describing
I wouldn't
this
want to say a
road in
curse word up
Outdoor
here
Life
while
magazine
people are
reads,
dying and the entire
Ambler
planet
Road
is on fire.
project would jeopardize
I wouldn't
one
want
of
to
the
say a
last
curse word.
great wilderness hunts in America.
People understand when I say this is bad.
Now, Mr. President, I've been fortunate enough to hunt caribou in Alaska, and I have to say I doubt that my grandchildren will ever have that opportunity. And what's even more concerning to me is the impact that the Ambler Industrial Corridor will have on subsistence hunting and fishing.
Oh, I'm going to rip my ears off of my fucking head.
Carve its way.
I've been fortunate enough to go up there and
gates of the Arctic
see if I can
National
hunt
Park.
some caribou up in Alaska.
You heard me right. We are sacrificing one of our most spectacular national parks to enrich a foreign mining company.
That's what he cares
I
about,
have to think that
right?
Teddy Roosevelt
He wants a place to be able to
rolling
go up and
over
hunt.
in his grave.
He's going to be like,
The
how am I
damage will be
supposed to go up there
irreparable
and
to
shoot
the
caribou
landscape, to our
if there's a
American
fucking road
birthright in
there?
these public lands, and to one of the largest caribou herds in Alaska and the communities that depend on that herd. Imagine sweeping away years and years of input, conversations, not just about the public lands on one landscape, but to public lands across this country. All because you what? Found a quicker, easier way? One where you didn't have to listen to anyone? One where some senators in Washington, D.C. get to override and replace the opinions of every single American
Whole dimension's
who
fucked, yeah.
contributed to those plans.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
That's
Even if you
nuts.
don't
And this
care
is
about
one of the
how
fucking
land is
guys
used
that's
by
supposed to like
hunters or
be
hikers,
fighting for this
tribes,
side, right?
outdoors, or
He's also
energy
one of the three that they
If
brought
all
up
you
there
care
for like
about
this
is
last
how our lands
minute
are
thing
used
to be
produce
said here.
fossil fuels, then look no further than my state. Look at the Bureau of Land Management leases that have been issued in the Permian Basin. And know that when you vote for these resolutions, when you turn these resource management plans into so-called rules, you call into question those leases.
I have
All
no
of them.
idea who Chris Ray Gun is.
Know that you are choosing, what you are choosing may be easier, but it is wrong and it is destabilizing. I would urge my colleagues to vote no on all these resolutions. of
I would
disapproval.
urge my colleagues to
Thank you,
vote
Mr. President.
no on all of these resolutions. Great job, guy. You really fired him up. Really fired up the crowd. Just me or did the sound? Yeah, it sounds like I'm underwater. It sounds currently like I'm underwater. We don't have any audio feed from this anymore at the moment, so we will put a mute on that. Well, I guess I don't really need to mute it, huh? And we will continue while we were watching
Impacts on
prior.
Montana's economy.
Never mind. Never mind. We're back.
This happened after the election.
They just plopped to this guy, I guess.
Biden's BLM
Hemingway,
issued
what's up?
an amendment to the Miles City Resource Management Plan that prohibited all new coal development in eastern Montana. Shuts it down. This means that the BLM prohibited all new coal leasing in the Powder River Basin. By the way, that is the home of the largest coal reserves in the United States. And they did this despite strong opposition from local counties in Montana, local elected officials. In fact, the entire Montana congressional delegation and the governor of Montana himself, Greg Gianforte. In fact, Governor Gianforte specifically requested that the BLM director withdraw that proposed amendment during the BLM's official, quote, governor's consistency review, and Biden's BLM ignored him. And when the governor submitted an official appeal to Biden's BLM director, our governor was rebuffed. This lack of respect for Montana's local and statewide elected officials cannot be ignored. It will not be
live
ignored,
speaking
and it's gonna be
on
changed and
the
reversed
shutdown again
today with the passage
before like a vote
of
to
the CRA.
continue the shutdown or whatnot.
Let's be clear what this resource
Currently, as in
management
who
plan
is speaking,
amendment
I
is
don't know
and
who
what
is
we're
speaking.
doing today with this Congressional Review Act. The RMPA is an attack on Montana jobs. It's an attack on Montana communities. It's an attack on Montana's energy production. It's an attack on Montana's economy. What today's resolution does is it rolls back officially Biden's war on Montana coal, and it does not affect the underlying resource management plan. What we're doing today is we are disapproving of Biden's ill-conceived amendment and nothing else. This CRA does not prohibit the BLM from issuing a new amendment. The CRA simply prohibits the new administration from issuing a substantially similar coal amendment, and in this case, that means
What the
they
fuck?
can't
What is all the
permanently
goddamn
prohibit
Joe
any new
Biden?
coal development.
I can only imagine that's the whispers that they
Today,
hear in their
hear
head
from the other side
constantly.
Of the aisle that the sky is falling. That is absolutely not true. It's Joe Biden. What we're doing today is righting a wrong. Something the Biden administration slipped in after the election, and we're grateful that we were paying attention. We're going to right this wrong. A midnight Biden rule that was issued without the support from the state of Montana. Talk about federal bureaucratic overreach. Taking this action this day, today, will lead to more Montana jobs, more Montana energy. By the way, more Montana tax revenue to support K through 12 education and stronger communities in eastern Montana. I urge
Sleepy
my
Joe
colleagues
stays up
to
past
again,
midnight.
like we did last night.
That sounds like a
with the
children's
procedural
book.
vote,
That
to
sounds like a
support with the
children's
final
book that
vote,
like Donald Trump would
Montana
write.
jobs, Montana
Sleepy Joe
communities,
stays up
and
past
to vote
midnight.
yes on his message.
What was he doing? Where's the laptop?
Under the previous order, the clerk will read the title of the joint resolution a third time.
HJ Res 104, joint resolution providing for congressional disapproval under Chapter 8 of Title 5 United States Code and so forth.
The question occurs on passage of the joint resolution.
This
is there a
live,
sufficient
yes.
second? There appears to be. Clerk will call the roll.
Ms. Also Brooks, Ms. Baldwin, Mr. Banks, Mr. Barrasso, Mr. Bennett, Mrs. Blackburn, Mr. Blumenthal, Ms. Blunt Rochester, Mr. Booker, Mr. Bozeman, Mrs. Britt, Mr. Budd, Ms. Cantwell, Mrs. Capito, Mr. Cassidy, Ms. Collins, Mr. Coons, Mr. Cornyn, Ms. Cortez Masto, Mr. Cotton, Mr. Kramer, Mr. Crapo, Mr. Cruz, Mr. Curtis, Mr. Daines, Ms. Duckworth.
Oh, we're underwater again. Why does the mic do that? That's so weird.
Mr. Durbin, Ms. Ernst, Mr. Fetterman,
Charlie Brown
Mrs.
teacher, yeah.
Fisher,
Mr. Cornyn.
Oh, we're still reading it now.
Ms. Cortez Masto. Mr. Cotton. Mr. Kramer. Mr. Crapo. Mr. Cruz. Mr. Curtis. Mr. Daines. Ms. Duckworth. Mr. Durbin. Ms. Ernst. Mr. Fetterman. Mrs. Fisher.
We can hear that guy's mic.
Mr. Gallego. Mrs.
Talking
Gillibrand.
about? It happens to rookies?
Mrs. Gillibrand, Mr. Graham, Mr. Grassley, Mr. Haggerty, Ms. Hassan, Mr. Hawley, Mr. Heinrich, Mr. Hickenlooper, Ms. Hirono, Mr. Hoven, Mr. Husted,
I'm just trying to listen to that. I'm trying to like
Mrs.
eavesdrop on that
Hyde-Smith.
conversation in the background.
Mr. Johnson, Mr. Justice, Mr. Kane, Mr. Johnson, Mrs. Hyde-Smith, Mr. Johnson,
Hey, it's not illegal as long as you're doing it electronically. What?
Mr. Kane, Mr. Kane, Mr. Kelly, Mr. Kennedy, Mr. Kim, Mr. King, Ms. Klobuchar, Mr.
Talking about
Langford,
not being able to legally record?
Mr. Lee, Ms. Klobuchar, Mr. Kim, Mr. King, Ms. Klobuchar, Mr. Langford, Mr. Lee, Mr. Kane, Mr. Kelly, Mr. Kennedy,
And that's on the team that's bitching.
Mr. Kennedy,
No, unless you're using
Kim.
video.
Mr. Kim,
You can't tape it, record it,
Mr. King,
facilitate it.
Mr. King,
And he
Ms.
said
Klobuchar.
pornographers?
Mr. Langford, Mr. Lee, Mr. Lee, Mr. Lujan,
Why are they repeating? They're not. I'm going back. I'm listening to the conversation from the main desk over there. They have a hot mic on, and they're talking about some like weird shit right now.
Ms. Lummis, Mr. Markey, Mr. Marshall, Mr. McConnell, Mr. McCormick,
I started listening to it because I swear to God I heard one of them say Hitler. I swear to God, like 3 or 4 minutes ago, I heard one of them go, "Oh, Hitler." I was like, what the hell was that?
Mr. Merkley, Mrs. Moody, Mr. Moran, Mr. Marino, Mr. Marino, Mr. Marino, Mr. Mullen, Mr. Marino, Mr. Mullen,
Something about a basement? What the fuck? They were talking about pornographers and being illegal to record or facilitate something, and now they're talking about a basement. What the fuck are they talking about right now?
Ms. Murkowski, Mr. Murphy,
The fuck? He just said something about
Mr.
a cardinal,
Murphy.
and then I heard hack into the data. What the fuck is going on?
Murkowski, Mr. Murphy,
No, the Cardinals. That one was about sports. But it's still hacked into the database. What?
Mrs. Murray, Mr. Ossoff, Mr. Padilla, Mr. Paul, Mr. Peters, Mr. Reed, Mr. Ricketts, Mr. Risch,
So Cycling, thank you for the subscription 2 months in a row. Thank you.
Ms. Rosen, Mr. Rounds, Mr. Sanders, Mr. Schatz, Mr. Schiff, Mr. Schmidt, Mr. Schumer, Mr. Scott of Florida,
Top down what?
Mr. Scott of South Carolina,
They're voting on like the government shutdown thing. This is kind of it's live, but like we're behind by a little bit because they currently have a hot mic going in the background to our left. The 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people over there are like on hot mic right now talking about some like wild shit, and they have been for a while. So we've been kind of trying to listen.
Shaheen, Mr. Sheehy, Miss Lotkin, Miss Smith, Mr. Sullivan, Mr. Thune, Mr. Tillis, Mr. Tuberville, Mr. Van Hollen, Mr. Warner, Mr. Warnock, Ms. Warren, Mr. Welch, Mr. Whitehouse, Mr. Wicker, Mr. Wyden, Mr. Young.
Now we're underwater again.
Senators voting in the affirmative: Bennett, Blunt Rochester, Coons, Fetterman, Gallego, Gillibrand, Hassan,
read slower.
Heinrich,
I wanna hear
Hirono,
the- yeah.
Kane, Kelly, Kim, Klobuchar, Markey, Murray, Padilla, Peters, Rosen, Sanders, Schatz, Slotkin, Van Hollen, Warner, Warren, Welch, and Wyden. Mr. Reed, aye. Senators voting in the negative: Banks, Blackburn,
Yeah, now she speaks up, right?
Bozeman, Capito, Cassidy, Collins, Cornyn, Cotton, Kramer, Crapo, Curtis, Daines, Ernst, Graham, Grassley, Haggerty, Hawley, Hoven, Johnson, Kennedy, Langford, Lee, Lummis, McConnell, Marino, Mullen, Murkowski, Paul, Ricketts, Scott of South Carolina, Sheehy, Sullivan, Tillis, Tuberville, Wicker, and Young.
And we're underwater again.
Mr. Blumenthal, aye. Mr. Durbin, aye. Mr. Markey, aye. Ms. Cortez Masto, aye.
What is he showing him on his phone over there?
Mr. Schiff, aye.
I feel like they're purposefully turning off the microphone now in between.
Mr. Barrasso,
I feel like we're getting a lot more in between turnoffs.
No.
Yeah, we're getting a lot more in between turnoffs now. They realized that they were picking up all that background audio, huh? They definitely realized she sped up the speed at which she's
Thune,
reading
no.
and is now turning off the microphone every single time.
Mr. Murphy, aye.
Well, we can turn it back down a little bit. We don't have to listen as closely if they're not if they're not able to be heard. I'm gonna put this on for a minute. I'm gonna run to the bathroom, and then I'm gonna smoke again. We'll continue watching this. Cheers, everybody. Burbles. Cheers. Hemingway, cheers. Oubliette, Stoner Chick trademark. Cheers, everybody.
She's looking underneath my tones, pacing her breath just to hush me. She's hidden like the undertow, and I'm stranded at sea. Oh, I need her to know she's on my mind. I can't let the thought go of us tonight. She moves like a movie scene, and I can't seem to catch her under my sleeve, and it haunts me how she touches me like she owns me. I can't get over her when she's under me now.
Democrats don't want to force it right now because risky
Mrs. Smith. Mrs. Smith.
Tired.
All right.
Most of the Dems want to happen.
Try to push them down, but they keep seeping out. Why do I think about her all the time? I fall so hard for her.
I'm gonna get a pumpkin this year. I don't know what I'm gonna do for the carving. I have no idea yet. I kind of like forget that there's like even Halloween coming up, honestly, lately with everything going on. With everything going on, I'm like, oh yeah, also Halloween, huh? Remember I mentioned carving like once, like 2 weeks ago? Yeah, I mean, like, all of a sudden it's just gonna be Halloween. It feels like. Remember, like, oh shit, huh? Yeah, it is.
She's bad for my health, bad for my health, but I wanna find it out for myself, out for myself. How come I don't want one last one? That's crazy, my lips so desperately. You're dirty cat. Stop showing up in nothing. That's only to your sin. Don't stop calling, stop caring, 'cause you're not up to my sleeve. Why you always gotta be so stubborn? Stopping in the headlights like you're joking.
Judge temporarily blocks Trump admin from sending National Guard troops to Chicago. Let's go see what that's fully. Oh, kids trick or treat in my new neighborhood. Yeah, I've never seen people trick or treating ever. I lived here for what, 6 years, something like that.
Mr. Ossoff,
I usually end up just getting I usually end up buying candy after Halloween when it's on sale. Get that 50% off sale. Federal judge on Thursday suspended for 2 weeks the deployment of the National Guard to Chicago and surrounding area ordered by President Donald Trump less than 24 hours after sending hundreds of troops to support immigration enforcement. With the judge saying, I have no credible evidence that there was a danger of rebellion in the state of Illinois. Yeah, no shit. Judge April Perry said, quoted by U.S. media. The judge, who had been petitioned by Democratic Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker and the mayor of Chicago, called the allegations made by the Department of Homeland Security officials unreliable. Okay. She also said that the National Guard soldiers were poorly trained in law enforcement and that their deployment to Chicago would only add fuel to the fire that the defense itself had started.
Mr. McCormick, no. Mr. Moran, no.
God, I want to be able to just listen to their conversation over there. I love eavesdropping. I very much enjoy just eavesdropping. I'd be great at just like being one of those agents that would have to just sit there and listen to audio footage of people's conversations. I'd be phenomenal at that. What are they talking about? Oh my God, what are they? What's the new gossip today? I think that'd be a lot of fun. And now the timer is no longer there. 15-minute timer, now gone. Because who cares about timers? They're just there for, like, pretend. They're there for pretend, you know?
Mr. Schmidt, no.
They could sit here for, like, days, I guess, technically. the fact that we have like even Democrats down there just sitting in a circle and just like casually chuckling to each other and stuff is fucking wildly unbelievable to me right now. Like, it's just like so crazy how little they care about the extent of the situation we're really in. Out of everyone that spoke, one of them so far has had emotion in what they've been saying. There's not too many votes left. At this point, like, the nays have it. Right? Have to assume statistically. Yeah, the ones that break up their words in the middle of their sentences. The people of my state really need me to help them. Straight out of Shatner School of Speaking, yep. I wish there was like better showing of exactly who has and has not voted yet, so we could like feel more emotionally towards those people who have like been just sitting there not doing anything. Like I wish there was like photos of everyone, like we're playing that Guess Who game, and every time they say someone, the photo just like drops off, right? And then we could be like, what are you doing? Bobby. Going on the wire right now, but Nay will probably slightly win, I guess. Yeah, I mean, like, see, it seems like, you know, seems like they're gonna get that. I don't know why there's so many withheld votes still. Cory Booker just voted and then walked over to the group that was speaking. Sure, give ups. I don't know. Bobby, you want a treat? Bobby. Here it comes. We got the 50th nay. I spy with my little eye Bernie Sanders. I spy a Bernie Sanders. What the hell are they gonna do when like people start getting elected that are significantly further left than Bernie Sanders? What the hell are they gonna do when like young people who are significantly further left than Bernie Sanders start getting elected to government positions? I feel like there's no way they're going to let something like that happen. There's no way.
Mr. Rounds, no.
When they allow elections again? Yeah. Who knows when that'll be. I genuinely do not have any idea, like, what the fuck is gonna happen with this, with the election coming up. I mean, it's... No idea. The midterms, mathematically, the left should win significantly so. But... Good night, Crafty. We got that 51th. The 51th nay. What if we said 51th instead of 51st? I think I prefer 51th, honestly. Sounds more fun. I like 51th. So why are we still waiting for the other votes now? Now that we have it, why are we still waiting? Does it matter now? No. 51 is more than 49 could be. Formality, I guess. It seems like we're wasting taxpayer money, if you ask me. It seems like we're wasting some more taxpayer money. 51th is more than the 49th. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. God, so we live in such a dumb fucking time. motion to invoke cloture on the motion to proceed to the consideration of S2882, the continuing appropriations and extension bill. What? This is the most wildly inefficient bullshit that they could come up with. It's so wildly inefficient. My God. At this point, I won't be satisfied until we have a completely different style of government. At this point, I will not be satisfied until this entire thing is different. Well, yes, exactly. This bullshit, nah. It cannot go forward like this. It clearly does not work. Not even kind of. I don't know what the fuck they think they're gonna do. Even if the Democrats won again and come back, right? What then? You're gonna put fucking band-aids on everything? And then just be like, next time a Republican comes in, they're gonna break everything again. Is that the plan? We're gonna play break the shit and then put band-aids on it forever? That sounds really stupid. That sounds really stupid. Read the whole timeline? Yeah, at this point. At this point, let's press that button. Boop. Reset. Let's run it back. Yeah, that's because we didn't properly prosecute the people for treason during the Civil War. It's because we did not properly prosecute those for treason. The whole chain of command that killed those Venezuelan voters need to prosecute. Yeah, they need to go all the way down to the fucking person who fired the rocket. I'm just following orders. Did not work then, and it cannot work now. Mr.
Schumer, aye.
Schumer was one of the holdouts on not voting for anything. Wait, why? We're over here waiting on Chuck Schumer to process the question. We're waiting on him to process the question. He's like, what are we doing here? Oh, right. I forgot. I'm doing something. Grassley's gonna wander in and then just start taking a nap or something on the floor. Who are you people? What's going on? Delta, what's up? Why does Chuck Schumer stand like that? He always does this he'll lean on something and lean forward towards you. I don't like it. Or he'll lean on his hip and lean right up into your face. Who is the last person we're waiting on? Is this live? Yeah. Actually, speaking of, I might be able to refresh it and have it be a couple seconds forward. Didn't help. Did not help. Sadly, did not help. What the hell were they doing over? Why were they? They kept like trying to brush something off of that guy. It looked like they were playing slapsies or something over there. I'm pretty sure he has what? Is that where he doesn't have a spine at all? Is that where he just doesn't have a spine? Because if that is the case, then I could believe that for Chuck Schumer.
The yeas are 47, the nays are 52. 3/5 of the
52. Really, a nay was holding out?
In the affirmative, the motion upon reconsideration is not agreed to.
Mr. President.
Senator from Kansas.
I move to proceed to the motion to reconsider the cloture vote on the motion
Oh,
to
no.
proceed to H.R. 5371.
Oh, no.
Questions on the motion? All those in favor say aye.
Oh, my God.
All those opposed say no.
Now we're voting on a re-vote for the vote on the vote for the vote on the vote that we're going to see if we have a vote for the vote to have the bill to have a vote. But a re-vote. We got to re-vote first.
Senator from Kansas.
I move to reconsider the cloture vote on the motion to proceed to H.R. 5371.
Questions on the motion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it. The
Wait a
motion is agreed
second.
to. The clerk will report the motion to.
Oh, they're not going to ask for
Cloture
a count.
motion, we the undersigned senators, in accordance with the provisions of Rule 22 of the Standing Rules of the Senate, do hereby move to bring to a close debate on the motion to proceed to Calendar 168, H.R. 5371, an act making continuing appropriations and extensions for fiscal year 2026 and for other purposes, signed by 17 senators.
By unanimous consent, the mandatory quorum call has been waived. The question is it the sense of the Senate that debate on the motion to proceed to H.R. 5371, an act making continuing appropriations and extensions for fiscal year 2026 and for other purposes shall be brought to a close upon reconsideration? The yeas and nays are mandatory under the rule. The clerk will call the roll.
Ms. Alsobrooks? No. Thank you. Ms.
Calling roll.
Baldwin?
Oh.
Banks? Bennett?
I hate it here. It's fucking insane. This is crazy. Motion to invoke closure on the motion to proceed to the consideration of. This is so fucking dumb. So fucking stupid. And the fact that they had like Elon Musk trying to like make things more expedited and like better in the government, and no one was just like, hey, we probably waste like 10 billion hours a year just fucking standing around voting on votes to have votes, you know. We don't have like little buttons we can all just press. We don't have nothing. We do this just the dumbest fucking way, but it's like we're scraping our heads on the wall. I don't know what the hell. Why are we doing this all like this? Why? They don't have a tally count up. They'll bring it up after like 30 or 40 people have already done something. Cheers, everybody. Pretty sure even the Scottish Parliament. In elementary school, we had the ability to have a little just button presser at our fucking desk. In elementary school, we could press a button and it would go up to the thing and it would vote for us on whatever it was. Now, I do not expect them to implement that exactly. However, the technology's been there. They've got it. They have it. Hemingway, cheers. Stoner chick, cheers. Dropping stuff. Trademark, cheers. You weren't expecting that, were you?
Mr. Peters. Mr. Reed.
We love nothing more here than burning taxpayer money. It's like we're on this big stupid train, right? And it's stupid powered. It takes stupidity and taxpayer money. And that they just keep shoveling it in there. That's all they do. Replaces every name called with lizard. Yeah, lizard. Lizard. I'm curious, for anyone like who watches other countries, whatever they have, how normal is it that the United States here, we just normally don't have any of the people who are supposed to be in the room there? How often is it at other places where like any of these meetings happen ever, where just none of the people show up? And then they just, like, vote at the end of it. Every chair is always empty. They don't have them for a reason. They don't use these fucking things. And sometimes UK Parliament's barely MPs. Oh, we actually have numbers now. They finally have the tally count up. It only took them 8 minutes. I guess 7.5. Only took 7.5 minutes and they got a tally counter. Great. The chairs are for looks. Yeah, the room would look really fucking empty if there was no chairs or desks. It would look really empty if there was just absolutely nothing in there. Oh God. How long do we think before the chairs get replaced with like massage chairs with all the Republicans in charge? How long do you think before they just go like, yo, fuck it, let's just put like massage chairs and stuff in here? Well, I mean, we run it, right? We just run things. Why don't we just like we could just do whatever we want. We could like have foot rubs in the middle of these. Literally the Blobs and Wall-E. Yeah, that's what it's going to end up becoming. We're going to have like Nazi versions of the fat people from Wall-E. the Dems have stools. They have like a chair with a bicycle seat attached. It's just like a little stool with a bicycle seat. They all have a massage chair. And they're like, you don't understand. We've saved so much money on not getting the Democrats the massage chairs that we just like, we might as well have gotten the massage chairs for ourselves, you know? And the worst part of that is the Democrats would totally just sit on the stools with the bicycle seats. They'd be like, you know, these are really uncomfortable. These are incredibly uncomfortable. We don't like these chairs that we gotta sit on now. You'll be like, this isn't fair. Get out there in the midterms and vote. This isn't fair. We got 31 nays. Oh, we got 19 yays. They'd be like, at least we have a seat. At least we have a seat in the room. At least we have a seat in the room with the massage chairs. No, you don't understand. It's like we have to rub their feet while they're in the massage chair. That way we have a seat at the table. That way we have a seat at the table to be able to speak for our constituents in our areas. Now, hold on while I read off this thing that someone wrote for me. Hey, Alley Cat, what's up? Currently, to catch you up, we're on the vote for the motion to invoke the cloture on the motion to proceed to the consideration of HR 5371. And spoiler alert, this timer means nothing. 5 minutes, you can pretend it doesn't exist. That's an imaginary number. That's just to let you know when it started, and then it's going to go away and we'll have no idea. Frying potato chunks to go with rice. Oh, that sounds good. I feel like the guy earlier. This is wild. Yeah, this is bad. Yes. Sure is bad. To be fair, they did get rid of it way before it hit 5 minutes. Did they on the last one? Did they? I don't think I was paying as close attention during the last one. And I'm also super high, so you could gaslight me in either direction right now if you'd like. I don't know. Maybe there was no timer last time for all I remember. Maybe the timer was the friends we made along the way. You know what? Maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. Do they legitimately just walk up and do thumbs up or thumbs down? What am I looking at? Are we serious right now? Is that the official way that this is done? Let me just ask. Thought she was being, is she just? Because I see a lot of them come up and like they do a physical action to seemingly show their vote. it seems like most of them, we see them then walk, once their vote is read off, they're walking in and they do some physical action. So, as far as I am aware in this moment, you walk up and you're like, yeah, I'm for this one. Or you're like, bad, no, stinky bill. Don't worry, we're number one. America's number one, baby. We're number one. Do you know why the really reason is that we don't use buttons or something? Do you know the real reason? Is because these people are so fucking old. They wouldn't be able to figure it out. There could be two buttons. One could be a big button that says yes. And the other one could be a big button that says no. And they would not be able to figure out how to use it. And every single vote would have to get, like, discredited repeatedly. Because they would just be like, that's not what I meant to do. That's not what I meant to this button. That's not what I... So, we will not ever move on from this until we don't have fucking decrepit fossils, you know, running the country. 32-38. Wow, I'm hopeful. I sure am hopeful. So used to politicians here being in their 40s and 50s. Yeah, it's more close to like 80s here. It's closer to like 80s. That's because these motherfuckers get into office and they're like, I don't care about the people. All I care about is getting reelected. I can now not lose this job. I need it more than anything. It's immediately what happens every time. No matter who it is, seemingly, they'll just get up there and they're like, put me in position of power. I'll help you. And then they get there and they're like, I'm not losing this job. You're not kicking me out.
Keep on talking, I can't get enough. I love the way that you hate my guts. I'm impatient, wanna taste the blood dripping down my lips from your magic touch.
Yeah, he's going through. Yep, we got thumbs up. He went do 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 do. And if we look back at the tapes, we do see that he did vote yes. Let's do an instant replay of that in slow motion. They're already mostly, yeah, they are. They're already in slow motion. You're not wrong. Slow motion would be unbearable. Yeah, I'm gonna grab a water. Be right back.
Toxic masculinity is slipping out. Your tone deaf, don't need you in my head. I'm better off alone because you cut me short. Fuck it, you can poison my water. Send me to Davies Locker. But you're gonna need a damn good eye, cause I'm worth my weight in gold, worth my weight in gold. The 24K never gonna fade a day. I'm good today, all your negative energy. I should hate this, but I'll break it to you. I'm still worth my weight in gold, worth my weight in gold.
Guys are too funny. It's the weed. For me, it's the weed.
Grow stronger when you try to
39-40. Oh my God, the Yays are ahead. Spin we the special interest my 64. Yeah, exactly. Hello, Robert. How's it going? Mm. 41-40, everybody. We're closing in on a number. The snail races are about to begin. I want to see a I don't know if everyone had it, but I had field day when I was a kid in like elementary school, where you go out and you do like a bunch of different like competitive like little game sports events. I would give like so much to see the entirety of Congress do some sort of like competitive events versus each other, because you know, I think some of those older members of Congress may no longer be in Congress after those two. If they cannot compete in the competitive Congress games, well, too bad. Like, imagine Chuck Grassley trying to run, like, with an egg and a spoon. Well, imagine Chuck Grassley trying to run as fast as he can with an egg and a spoon, balancing it. Or like a three-legged race. The three-legged race, they have to put a Republican and a Democrat together for each three-legged race. Yes! Amazing idea, Seth. It's a Republican and a Democrat for each part of the three-legged race. Oh my God. That would be so fucking funny. That would be hilarious. Hop around one of those potato sacks? Yeah. Yeah. They would naturally blame each other. Yeah, it would cause them to just argue repeatedly, I feel. They would probably just end up screaming at each other. But at least that would be performative and funny, instead of performative and terribly boring. At least that performance from them would be entertaining to me. This performance is annoying me. I'd be fine with my tax dollars going to instead field day. They would say the Dems are cheat. Yeah. This is the same said for debates for the president. We would, at bare minimum with that, we would at least not have Donald Trump as the president, because there's not a single physical, mental, or any kind of event really in general that Donald Trump could possibly win. There's not a single. There's not a single. I want to see cage match. You know what? At this point, I wouldn't be surprised if they did just like assemble like a cage there to be able to fight each other if they wanted. With the direction that our government's going, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, we're going to have a fucking cage match at the White House, right? So, wouldn't be surprised if Congress implemented something. 46 to 40. Do we have another vote coming in? Someone walked in. Nope. No new vote. Oh, there was. 46-41. Is that another yes? It seemed like he went, woo! Is this still a vote on a vote on a vote to vote on the vote on the vote to vote? Yeah. We currently have the motion to a vote closure on the motion to proceed to the consideration of HR 5371. So, yeah. We're looking on a vote about a vote to have a vote. About the vote. You know? I wish it was a better way for people to like physically visualize the amount of money that we're just destroying with like everything we do with these with like just them fucking sitting around. I wish there was like a nice visual that showed exactly how much money we're just like tossing into a furnace. (48-42), or there's more votes. How late are they willing to fucking go? I didn't watch the last one live. I don't know how like late they went into the night. Do we expect this to go for like hours longer? I don't even know right now. I have no idea. I guess I didn't even expect them to do a vote on the vote for the vote for the vote on the vote for the vote. Like 2 times. And then a vote to retry the vote on the vote for the vote. But, you know. (50-42). 50-42 right now. (51-42). All right, now they have all of the votes that they need for it to be a yay on the motion to invoke closure on the motion to proceed. So they're invoking closure on the motion to proceed to the consideration of, Jesus Christ, HR 5371. The 51th. We got the 51th. I'm curious if like anyone else is gonna come up and fucking speak or something. Someone else just voted. August 4th, 1995 lasted for over 24 hours. This is the things. Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's still not bearable, but it's a little bit more bearable, right? Hard to get through a lot of these fucking things at this point, but we're here. Listen to Trump speak. I think nails on a chalkboard is better than. Oh.
3/5 of the senators duly chosen and sworn not having voted in the affirmative, the motion upon reconsideration is not agreed to.
Now it's 54 to 45. Okay. Now what?
Mr. President.
Okay.
Senator from Tennessee.
What is the pending business before the Senate?
The clerk will report the pending business.
Calendar number 115 has
4. Yeah, I forget how
the bill
late
to
it is.
authorize appropriations for fiscal year 2026 for military activities of the Department of Defense and so forth and for other purposes.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, we know that under Joe Biden and Chris Wray's leadership,
Jesus Christ,
the
here we go.
FBI, it turns out, was truly rotten.
Oh, Blackburn, here she goes.
The worst political corruption
Joe
of the justice
Biden.
system in our
Did
nation's
you know
history.
Joe
And
Biden?
Now we have
Republican Tennessee, Marsha Blackburn.
They raided Mar-a-Lago. They indicted President Trump on baseless charges and weaponized
Baseless
America's
charges,
top
huh?
law enforcement agency against conservatives, against parents, and against people of faith. On Monday, we found out that this abuse of power had reached the halls of Congress. Thanks to internal FBI documents provided by Director Patel and Deputy Director Bongino to Chairman Grassley.
Ah, yes, that's who we
now
to
know
Grassley.
that the FBI
Oh my
tracked
God.
the private
We're
communications
taking
of
info that the chain of info went from Cash Patel and Dan Bongino to fucking Grassley?
We're all Republicans.
That's like the worst game of telephone.
President Trump, and we all had questions about the 2020 election.
The 2020
According to
election.
the documents that were given, the FBI tracked who we were calling on our phones, who was calling us, where we were physically located when the calls were
Actually,
made
that's like
or
how a phone-
received, and
That's
how
how a phone
long
works.
each call lasted.
Yeah.
This is an abuse of authority. It is
Okay.
despicable. And we know that their abuses were far greater and more numerous than those abuses to us. Now, earlier this year, Chairman Grassley released whistleblower showing that the Biden FBI obtained the government-issued cell phones of both President Trump and former Vice President Pence. Last month, we learned that the agency launched a political investigation into nearly 100 Republican and conservative groups, including the Republican National Committee, the Republican Attorneys General Association, and Charlie Kirk's Turning Point USA.
Oh my God, who
We're
gives a
only
fuck about Charlie
about
Kirk?
This weaponization of government against conservatives because the Trump administration is committed to total transparency for the American people. The work that President Trump, his administration, Attorney General Pam Bondi, Director Patel, and Deputy
Are we just
Director
randomly
Bongino
thanking people now?
are doing is so appreciated, not only by us, but by the American people. It is time
Who thinks
for
Dan Bongino and Kash Patel are doing a good job?
of government to stop. It is time to make
To them, this is more important. Yeah, right.
individuals
And like,
who did this,
genuinely,
that were part of the
so like, the Democrats don't really kind of care, and the people on the right at this point have gone like crazy. They've gone like fucking crazy, full blown crazy, like institutionalizably crazy.
Mr. President, I ask unanimous consent that the next
I think a lot of them really genuinely believe the crazy shit that they say.
Without objection.
Thank you, Mr. President. Yesterday, my colleagues and I that are on the Judiciary Committee had the pleasure of hearing from Attorney General Bondi, who has done so much to restore accountability and transparency at the U.S. Department of Justice. Instead of waging political investigations, the department under her leadership is focused on enforcing the rule of law. And that includes enforcing the rule of law in Memphis, Tennessee.
Oh, God.
As we speak, the Justice Department and FBI are among the 13 federal agencies that are on the ground working with local and state officials to support the Memphis Police Department and to lock up violent criminals. In just over a week of operations, President Trump's Memphis Safe Task Force has delivered tremendous results. As of Monday, authorities have made 321 arrests. This includes 82 that were on ICE warrants, 41 on gun charges, 18 for
An ICE
sex
warrant isn't a
offenses,
fucking
and
warrant
1
even.
for homicide. This is on top of the 503 gang members that were arrested by the FBI in their work from July 15th to September 15th. So having the additional agencies there is support that has truly been needed in Memphis to sustain this work that is rooting out gangs and criminals. Last year, the city of Memphis saw the highest crime
ICE warrants
rate
worth as much
in the
as
country.
an
In
Israeli
some parts
ceasefire.
of the
Yeah,
city,
exactly.
shootings,
Or a
robberies,
Trump IOU.
murders were a daily occurrence. Memphians have long demanded action to address the city's crime crisis, but the Memphis Police Department is short 500 officers, with just over 20 people in their current recruitment class. With federal law enforcement helping keep the peace, Memphis police are now empowered to track down repeat violent criminals, including gang members who have terrorized city residents for too long. At the same time, as the Memphis operation, the Trump administration has surged federal resources to
Why do they
other
keep saying the word
crime-ridden
surged?
cities to restore
They
law
all
and
keep
order.
saying it.
In Portland and
And when they
Chicago,
say it, they
ICE
say it
agents
like
have had to
surged.
overcome obstruction
Like they
efforts
say
by
it different than everything in their
Democrat
sentence.
elected officials. They have had to push back on Democrat elected officials to enforce the rule of law and to detain criminal illegal aliens. To preserve the hard-fought wins of the Memphis Safe Task Force and federal law enforcement across the country, we need to make certain that these violent criminals are behind bars. Yet, in too many cases, soft-on-crime prosecutors and judges have allowed violent criminals back on the streets without bail to continue their criminal activity. Last year in Memphis, an 18-year-old who was released without bond after stealing multiple vehicles went on to murder a man in an attempted robbery. Just days earlier,
What does this have to
a man
do with what we're
released without
talking
bail
about?
after being charged with auto theft and
The
unlawful
fuck?
possession of a weapon killed a Memphis police officer in a shootout. During a judiciary committee
We're saying
hearing
if
that
you
I
steal a
chaired
car,
last
we're going to
week
put
on
you in
police
jail
chaos
forever.
and tragedy,
If you commit a
State
crime in the
Senator
good
Brett
old
Taylor, who
United States of America,
told
we'll
me
put
that
you in
soft-on-crime
jail for eternity.
prosecutors are the weak link in the work Memphis is trying to do and the work that Memphis law enforcement is trying to do. Their DA is the weak link. After years of senseless violence, we cannot allow the hard
She's upset about the
work
DA.
of the Memphis Safe Task Force to go to waste. To ensure that the rule of law is enforced, I recently introduced the Keep Violent Criminals Off Our Streets.
I think we are now, no, this is now past the motion for the cloture on the motion for the vote for a motion, yeah.
The award of certain federal funds to states and localities that limit the use of cash bail. There must be consequences for these leftist officials who put criminals ahead of law-abiding citizens. There have to be consequences for these prosecutors, these DAs that continue to practice cashless bail policies. So, banning
Really?
these jurisdictions
So
from
it's
having
about having the money to commit the crime?
is a way that we can say
So the problem for you
bail and get these violent
is that
off the streets.
if a rich person has the cash to commit a crime and then get bail, that's fine. But if a poor person
Call the roll.
Ms. Alsobrooks.
commits some sort of crime, they should rot in prison forever? God, these fucking people. Quorum call. The National
of our nation as no other. I'm here to talk about the Major Richard Starr Act. Many of my colleagues know about it because 76 members of this body are co-sponsors. That's
Is
a
this
large
to
number.
give
But
the
so
military
far,
their
it
pay?
has not been sufficient to gain even a vote. And so I'm asking today that that support be turned into action. This bipartisan legislation will correct one of the deepest injustices impacting disabled veterans. It's labeled by stakeholders as the Wounded Veterans Tax. Let me repeat, the Wounded Veterans Tax, as it stands now, prevents more than 50,000 combat-injured veterans who were forced to retire to be barred from a full military pension.
He can barely fucking read the speech that. Oh
they
my
are
God,
getting
man.
a dollar-for-dollar reduction of their military retirement pay from
Can you just learn these
their
things and know
VA
this stuff?
disability benefits. The reduction dollar for dollar in their retirement pay is the result of their receiving those disability benefits for their combat injuries. And they are entitled to each of these separate and distinct and different forms of earned compensation.
Just goes to person to
They've
person.
earned both.
Yeah, like it
They are
cut in the
different,
middle of
separate,
him
and
talking.
distinct.
It cut in
But
at.
Right now, under current law, they're deprived of the full benefits of their pension
The
because
government
they
wasn't
were
already paying this, and now they're shooting these
injured
clowns.
in
Yeah,
combat.
exactly.
Just to describe this,
Especially when they're going up to just fucking vote on a vote for a vote for a vote to vote on a vote.
with outrage.
It's like, dude, what the hell are we doing?
major richest
Y'all are just up here raking in some money
sense bill. We use that word common
and
sense
doing
all the
nothing.
time in this chamber, but in this instance, it seems particularly appropriate. It would right this long-standing injustice and finally provide these military retirees their full VA disability and Defense Department retirement benefits. This cause is not only common sense, it's rightfully bipartisan. It has received overwhelming support, those 76 co-sponsors in this body, but also 304 co-sponsors in the House of Representatives. And
They
is
shouldn't get
the
paid, and they should be
collectively
required to be
top
doing their
priority
jobs every day.
of the military and
They should be
veteran services
required to, as an
organizations
elected
community
official,
of the United States.
do your job every fucking day.
Yet,
You're never not
year,
working,
this
guy.
bill has stalled.
You're never not
and
working.
Detractors have worked to deny a simple vote. Now, in public, critics have avoided taking a public position on the bill, and they have given lip service to veterans and advocates requesting their support. What their real reasons are, I can't say. But the fact of the matter is that these veterans have been denied this simple justice. And let me speak to those critics. We can't balance the federal budget on the backs of combat injured retirees. Doing so reneges our obligation. It's a sacred obligation to take care of veterans after their time in uniform. The bill doesn't create some great new, overly generous benefit, but it would be enormously impactful and beneficial for each of those retirees who would be affected. The average is about $1,200 a month. Some more, maybe some a little bit less. $1,200 a month, you can do the math. It's not a fortune, but it would make a difference in the lives of these combat injured veterans. It simply ensures that the benefits we promised and the benefits they've earned are the benefits that are now delivered. It's that simple, not clawed back.
What are
as
the
happens now
Republicans going to
from the
argue
heroes
on
who have
this?
sustained those combat-related injuries.
What are the
veterans and
Republicans going to
heroes
come up and argue?
Involved in these bills
Are they just going to come up and be like,
are
no, it's the
similar to
Democrats
the
that are
namesake of the
doing
bill,
this
Major
to
Richard
everyone?
Starr,
We couldn't
decorated
possibly
war
vote
veteran
on
and
giving
engineering
people.
officer in the Army who suffered from lung
I'm
cancer
confused.
caused by burn pit exposure. We all know about Iraq and Afghanistan burn pit exposure. We
I assume
passed
like
the
none of them are
Act
going to come up and speak.
to provide care and benefits for victims of those burn pits and exposure to other toxic chemicals.
Yeah, they get months of
They led
vacation
to his
time.
retirement and his death in 2021. He
I
was
think Ted Cruz gets like
51
whatever that is
years
squared.
old. Until his death,
Whatever that vacation
he
time
was a
is, square
dedicated
it, and that's
advocate
Ted
for his
Cruz.
fellow veterans and combat-related disabilities. His wife, Tonya Starr, walked these halls by his side. She died in 2024. She called my staff days before her passing in tears because another Congress had ended 2024 without a vote on the Richard Starr Act. Tonya knew the tremendous difference this legislation would make in the lives of caregivers and widows like her. It would make a difference also in the lives of veterans like Pat Murray of North Kingston, Rhode Island. Pat is a Marine Corps veteran and a staunch veterans advocate. He recently welcomed a baby boy, and he was forced to move back to Rhode Island and be closer to his family because the injuries he sustained from an IED blast in Iraq made it difficult to care for the newborn.
Yeah, they're definitely going to try and do this one to
This
like
act won't return his amputated leg.
really
but it can
push
provide
one
him and
thing
his
through.
family with desperately needed financial certainty, which they deserve, they need, they were promised. And will also help veterans like retired Master Sergeant Gabriel Peterson of Biloxi, Mississippi. He was medically discharged as a result of
I still hate though how
airway
he has to
disease.
like read this off, and it
He's on
sounds like it's the
5
fucking
different
first time
drugs.
he's read it off.
They help
but
with his breathing. It's a struggle for him to live. And this act would ensure that he can provide for his family even if he's no longer able to be employed. The stories are powerful, and they are persuasive. They depict the scope and impact of
He
this act if
mispronounced.
it were
Oh
passed
boy, did he?
in life-saving and life-enhancing benefits, and what it will mean to the tens of thousands of veterans across this great nation. In fact, these veterans and their families, think of their families, deserve a lot better. They deserve elected officials who will stand up and deliver for them the benefits they were promised, the benefits they earned, and they need them and deserve them today. I'm asking my colleagues to advance this legislation now.
Thought he was going to stop there.
The principle of taking care of our veterans has never been Democrat or Republican. The Veterans Affairs Committee is supremely bipartisan. My hope is that that tradition will continue, including today. So let's put politics aside, let's put partisan differences aside, finally do the right thing, and advance this important legislation for our nation's veterans. And so, notwithstanding Rule 22,
Speaking after this.
I ask unanimous consent that the Committee on Armed Services be discharged and the Senate proceed to the immediate consideration of S-1032, the Major Richard Starr Act, that the bill be considered read a third time and passed, and the motion to reconsider be considered and laid upon the table.
The
Is there an
motion
objection?
to
Mr. President, the
consider
senator from
be
Mississippi.
considered.
Let me say that I have deep respect for my colleague and friend, the senior senator from Connecticut. He's a veteran. I'm a veteran. I have no doubt in my mind that Senator Blumenthal has a heart for the veterans and for disabled veterans.
But
and I appreciate that. He's moved with concern for those who have served and who have been injured. However, my colleague.
However, it was a however, not a but. That was my second guess. Good night, cycling.
And that we cannot afford. We're talking between $9 billion and $10 billion.
We just gave $20 billion to Argentina. I think we can afford it.
And we're talking about adding a bill, a piece of legislation that really belongs in another jurisdiction, as my friend acknowledged.
You gotta be kidding me.
We cannot possibly add another $10 billion, $9 or $10 billion, to this of entitlement money to this DOD Authorization Act and hope to pass it. And that's a reason that in Democrat majorities and Republican majorities, House Democrat majorities and Senate Democrat majorities, and in Democratic administrations, this legislation has never been accepted because we simply cannot afford it.
Oh my God. Donald Trump wastes money like it's
After
nothing.
we have identified an offset.
What's the deal? The deal is we gave him $20 billion
Such offset identified
to help
in
them.
this unanimous consent request. And when we do not identify
That's the deal.
offsets, then that $10 billion, almost $10 billion, has to come out of readiness, out of the strength of our military to defend
I believe they've
ourselves
said it's some sort of
in the
currency
most dangerous
exchange
time
thing, but it's
we've
like
had since
because
World War
they're failing
So I have the deepest
and they
respect
are
for
also
my
like a
friend
far right-wing extreme government
and I admire his
in
intentions.
South America.
But until
So Donald Trump wants to
Congress,
keep them
until
there.
authors of this proposal identify a way to offset the expense or to make it less expensive, we should not move forward with this legislation. Therefore, I do object.
The objection is heard.
Mr. President,
The senator from Connecticut.
I want to respond just very briefly to my colleague from Mississippi and my friend, the chairman of the Armed Services Committee. We work together as
He's the
he
chairman
does
of the Armed Services
always
Committee,
in a bipartisan way on
arguing
armed services issues.
that this
So
money should not be
what I'm about to say
given.
is not personal to him. In fact, I'm willing to bet that it isn't his decision to object here.
Yeah, Nazi heaven in
But
Argentina.
I want to refute.
I believe recently they figured that the numbers that we were originally given about the amount of Nazis that escaped to Argentina
clear that these
were
are two separate
significantly off. Like it was
And
much higher, the actual number that
right
did.
to payment under each of them is separately deserved. Not everyone who is entitled to retirement pay gets disability benefits. You have to be in that club that nobody wants to join, of being combat injured. And it is a separate form of right that in no way involves double dipping, as we commonly refer to it. The retirement pay is for years of service in the military.
This is literally
VA
just for
disability compensation is for the loss of
continuing
future earnings due to service-connected injuries or illnesses.
continuing pay
I just want to make clear
for
this
those who
is
have
about really equity.
injuries in the
Congress
line of duty.
eliminated this offset for nearly 1 million veterans who have served 20 years.
And the Republicans are going to
have
go,
a 50%
we don't want it. No.
VA disability rating or higher. It's already dealt with one segment of this group. This unjust assessment ultimately ought to be eliminated for all the 430,000 veterans who have their military retirement pay clawed back because they are receiving VA disability benefits. But we're starting here, or taking the next step, with 50,000 of those 430,000 who, in fairness, should receive both the retirement pay and disability benefits. And we're doing it because these 50,000 have combat-related injuries. And as to the total cost, again, not personal to my colleague from Mississippi, but the CBO told us that the Republican-supported tax cuts exploded the deficit by about $3.4 trillion. Let me repeat that. $3.4 trillion.
Yeah, lots of money.
Large part tax cuts to people who didn't need them. These veterans need these benefits. This cost is a minuscule fraction of those trillions. This country can afford to do right by these combat-injured veterans. The DoD Office of the Actuary has indicated it could implement the Richard Starr Act in a, quote, actuarially sound manner. It's not too costly. It's financially sound. I regret that the Richard Starr Act will not be passed
I don't know.
today, but I have another measure that I would like to bring to the floor,
Oh, what's this measure?
and it's with regret that we are not providing unanimous consent to the bill itself. And I understand the points made by my colleague, but I would like to present a middle ground. Since we don't have unanimous consent to the Major Richard Starr Act today, let's agree to a vote. Let's have a time agreement that would authorize the Senate to take a single up and down vote on passage of this bill before the end of the year. This time agreement doesn't guarantee passage. It simply guarantees a vote. One vote. That's all I'm asking. Give us a vote on passage of the Major Richard Starr bill, and it would be passage by a 60-vote margin, filibuster-proof. If we get 60 votes, the bill passes. If not, it goes down. Let's do it before the end of the year. I happen to think that we ought to spend whatever time is necessary on this bill. But I understand that leadership is concerned about time, and so my proposal strips away all the time-consuming procedural stuff. I have another word for it, but it allows us to go
Just say
forward
whatever.
expeditiously. One vote
God, just say
scheduled
shit.
entirely at
Just say
Majority
shit.
Leader Thune's discretion before
I
the
hate
end of
that.
the year. It could start and finish in half an hour or 45 minutes. Surely the Republican leadership can spare that short time scheduled at their discretion to give these combat injured veterans a single vote on this bill before the end of the year. And so, notwithstanding Rule 22, I ask unanimous consent
Good night, Burbles.
that at a time to be determined by the Majority Leader in consultation with the Democratic Leader, but no later than December 31, 2025, the Committee on Armed Services be discharged and the Senate proceed to the immediate consideration of S-1032. Further, that there be up to 2 hours of debate on the bill, equally divided between the two leaders or their designees, and that upon the use or yielding back of that time, the bill can be considered read.
I just want to
a
see
third
what
time
the
in
response
Senate
is to
vote
this. I'm guessing the answer
on
is no,
passage of
but
the
I
bill
want to
with
see that, and
60
then
affirmative
we're going to be
votes
ending
required
here.
for passage, and all without further intervening action or debate, and no amendments or motion in order to the bill prior to the vote on passage.
Is there an objection?
Reserving the right to object.
Senator from Mississippi.
Mr. President, every time
Reserving the right to object?
Want to advocate for another expensive program, they mention the tax cuts. Let me just stray from the issue at hand to say, as I've always said, when Republicans cut taxes on job creators, on small business people, on 95% of the people who filed a tax return back in 2017, jobs were created, and until the pandemic was visited upon the whole world, jobs were created and revenue rose for the United States of America. I have to say that. Let me also say this. There have been times very
You just want to say something before he objected?
when the Democratic Party controlled
He just
the
wanted to say something before he
presidency,
objected, huh?
the House of Representatives, and the United States Senate. And even in those situations, those recent situations, this legislation costing in excess of $9 billion in mandatory spending was not brought forward. Now, why would our friends across the aisle and the President of the United States, who was a Democrat, not advocate for that and make sure it comes to a vote is that we've got to make choices when it comes to national defense. Where would we take the money, the $9 billion? Are we going to take it out of salary increases for our junior enlisted people, which is in this bill? Are we going to take it out of...
He's just
Are we
like,
gonna
yeah,
take it out of,
we're not going to... Jesus
modernization
Christ.
of our nuclear strategic system, which is behind and
Who,
which needs it
but who
so
are we going to
desperately?
take the money
We
from?
can't just print up
Who are we
another-
going to take the money from, man? But yeah, they object. It's not unanimous consent. Oh, man. Good night, everybody. We're going to end it here. Be on tomorrow. One final little cheers here. Boyo, good night. Stingray, good night. Trademark, cheers. Robert, good night. Good night, Robert. Makes me think of the Marcus voice. Hemingway, good night, and cheers. Thank you for that follow, Robert. Musical, good night. Corey, good night. Ray, good night. Trademark, good night. See you, Hemingway. Buddy, want a treat? Ricebox, thank you for that follow as well. All right, everyone. Good night, and I'll see you tomorrow.